Tonight's episode is sponsored by our good friends at Taylor Mushrooms. They are 100% legal, euphoric mushroom gummies delivered straight to your door.
Taylor blended a little mushroom extract with a little THC to create a one-of-a-kind feeling. Half of a Taylor gummy will relieve any stress, the perfect dose to ease anxiety or ensure a great night of sleep.
A full gummy will deliver a calming, euphoric state of mind, the perfect dose for an outdoor adventure, a chill night in, a vibrant night out, or even turning up the heat with your partner.
Taylor is offering the first 50 Cocktails with Dimples in the Beard listeners a massive discount of 50% off their first order by visiting their site, www.taylor.store, and using promo code BEARD. That's TAILOR.store.
Again, that discount code is BEARD for 50% off your entire first order for the first 50 listeners.
Better hurry.
Better hurry.
Welcome, fellow Lushes. Come on in, pull up a bar stool, and enjoy some cocktails with Dimples and the Beard.
Moving on. Welcome back to another episode. Cocktails with Dimples and the Beard. We got a serious episode this time. We're going to treat it with the dignity it deserves because we're talking to Courtney ElizXbeth, who rids this world of sick pedophiles. She hunts.
You should be able to say in disgrace at our will.
She hunts the pedophiles, and she hunts them in our home state of Wisconsin.
She's a beautiful lady to do that. Soul in her soul.
Beautiful in her soul.
To do that. And as a person.
Yes. I
can't wait. Yeah, I'm excited about this one. I'm excited.
I haven't been this excited for an episode since the last episode, but I'm always excited. But I am very excited for this episode. I've been looking forward to this for a while. I got into this. I went down a rabbit hole on YouTube one day and got into these videos, and it started with I'm not going to remember his name.
That's all right.
But
they're out there.
Another guy. I started following him, and that led me to Alex Gordon Flowers, and that led me to Courtney and Trilogy Media. And there are a lot of people out there doing this amazing work, and I love it.
I do too. And it'll be exciting just to hear about it and how they can, and to see how we can help. And I think if nothing else comes from this, we can go along and help.
Yeah. I mean, I know people,
obviously we can't arrest them or do anything, but I would.
I just want to be there just to watch.
I want to be there and do it, and
I want to watch her do her thing and
let her be the one to tell them, "Hey, okay, we're walking away now. The police are coming back for you."
I want to talk to Courtney,
but we can't because we have a pretty lady waiting, and we never want to keep a pretty lady waiting,
especially one who catches disgusting pedophiles for a living.
And we're gonna help her.
So, without further ado, the one and only Courtney ElizXbeth. So thank you so much, Courtney ElizXbeth. We talked a little bit about you in the intro before you came on, told everybody who you are and how excited we are for this episode because of the work that you do and
the important work.
How, sadly, the work that you do is needed, but you do it and you do it well. And we are so excited to get to talk to you. So thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much. That means a lot to hear.
Yeah, especially you're in our home state. So we are in Wisconsin as well. So it's nice to have somebody cleaning up our state.
Thank you. Yeah, New Touch. We're actually traveling tomorrow into Tomahawk, Wisconsin. So I've never been there, so it should be interesting. And we're gonna be catching a doctor there. So.
Oh wow!
Oh boy.
That just goes to show you that it's not just low light. I hate to say they're all low lights, but
they are, yeah.
But lower, whatever you want to call it, poor people or whatever. It could be anybody. Anybody's got it. So you got to watch out.
Yeah, definitely. We've caught a police officer, a corrections officer, a social worker, businessmen, doctors.
So how
I was going to ask that. That's great introduction. What kind of a range you had? And I would say that a police officer is even more so than a doctor.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's scary
because I can remember as a young child and as a parent, you get scared. Find a police officer. You can trust police officers, which you can. For the majority of them, you can, right? But that's scary to hear.
Yeah, definitely.
So how and why did you get started doing this? Where did the desire come from to help rid the world?
You guys are gonna think I'm crazy. The first time I ever decoyed, I was actually 14 years old.
Okay.
It's pretty crazy. I've been watching Chris Hansen's To Catch a Predator, stuff like that, and I wanted to try it out myself. So when I was a minor, I went on a chat room portraying. Uh, my sister doesn't know this, but back then I used a picture of her, and sorry, Megan, and I used a fake name, and I said I was a minor, and they wanted to meet up, but obviously I never met them. It was very easy. Really, really scary to see how easy it was. So I guess ever since I was young, I kind of wanted to try it out as a social experiment. Fast forward to when I am freshly 22 years old, I think I was. Um, I decided to just try it out and I haven't stopped since. So
Oh,
Was never a lack of notice or lack of people, that's for sure. It's unfortunate.
yeah.
So 14, and so when you went on, you were a minor, and were you, were you scared? That's kind of a big step as a 14-year-old to do something.
I grew up pretty quick. No, I wasn't really scared. I was freaked out. I'll say that.
Okay.
I was in Wisconsin and I was portraying that I was in New York, and these people were in New York too. So I wasn't actually scared for my safety, but it's freaky. Yeah,
Yeah.
even as a 26-year-old woman, I think it's freaky.
Yeah, and it's got to be freaky how easy it is. I've heard you talking about how when you kind of got started, you didn't dive in too deep and you'd only talk to a person or two because it was overwhelming. And now you talk about how you can be talking to somebody, in 5 minutes and it happens that quickly.
Yes, I think the quickest I ever caught someone personally was within 30 minutes of talking, and that was in Philadelphia.
Jesus.
Holy
Hey.
cow.
He was after a 12 and a 15-year-old. So,
Well,
and
if
he
you're,
was,
if you're gonna do
he
it,
was,
go big, I guess. I mean,
yeah.
you're going for one, you might as well go for two. I don't know.
I like to spice it up a little bit, sometimes. And sometimes I'll lower the decoy age to 6 rather than 13. And yeah,
Yeah.
sometimes I'll put 2 decoys instead of 1. Yeah.
Yeah.
So at 14, yep, you gave it a try. Now you're into it professionally. What gave you that push to just say, I'm going to do this full time?
Yeah, so I guess when I first started, like I said, it was more so like as an adult when I first started, it was more so like a social experiment. I definitely knew I kind of wanted to. I didn't have money like that though. I wanted to hire production and have like my own little series on YouTube. And I did make that happen after a couple of years. It takes time, but yeah, I guess full time it was just eventually I started making enough money to where I could, I'm very blessed and fortunate by my supporters and the start was YouTube. So even though forget their censorship, but
Yeah, we'll definitely
yeah.
get into that subject. We will definitely be talking
Good,
about that
'cause
because
it makes no sense to me, but okay.
yes.
And then also, people like, I did see citizen catchers on YouTube too prior to when I did it. And I was watching them for about a year or two before I did it myself because like I said, I really wanted to. And talking online is different when you're decoying, it's so different than actually being in the field yourself. So it really took a couple of years for me to find that courage to go in the field. People like when I first started, Alex Rosen, Dads Against Predators, they really shouted me out too because I really was like the first big girl catcher at the
Yeah.
time. And so they definitely helped like my upbringing too and my, I guess, supporter base in the beginning to
Yeah.
where I'm blessed now. So yeah, it's definitely a full-time job for sure.
It's
For sure. Do you have a number? How many you've put in jail?
Oh gosh, I was gonna try to figure that out. So arrests, jail, and convictions, 3 different numbers. So arrests, I
Ah,
probably have like 30 arrests. Convictions, I think I have 12, but don't quote me. If I am
Sorry.
completely wrong, I will definitely leave a comment talking about the real number of convictions. And then
Well, I hope
yeah,
you're wrong because that would actually get us a comment. We don't get a lot of comments, so
And then charges countless, you know, even people that don't go to jail, they still get charged sometimes with like a felony 1 or A or D, sorry, felony using an internet device to lure a minor. They usually always get that. So
Yeah.
probably like charges, probably like 80 charges or so.
So what is the difference there? Between that felony and then actually convicted felon to go to jail? Did I say that
Yeah,
right?
so essentially, like, we've been charged a lot ourselves with disorderly conduct, disturbing the peace. So sometimes predators just get charged with that too. And you know, like I said, we got charged before plenty of times for disorderly, and some cops don't really agree with what we do. And we don't
Right.
go to jail for it. So sometimes when there's a felony, they don't go to jail for that felony, but they will maybe, well, they might have to spend like 30 days in jail. Like it's
Yeah.
not really a good sentence. So I don't really count that as a conviction because
Sure.
you're not a sex offender or anything.
Do they get put on most of them all get put on the registry though?
Most of them do become sex offenders though. It definitely depends on the county and the, you know, the state.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I've heard you talk a lot about Wisconsin and especially like Dane County and stuff and how they're can be hard to work with. And I don't get I did watch a video where you guys got like the guy who came to meet you had been in prison for rape, and they were more interested in why you guys were doing it than why he drove 4 hours to meet a 12-year-old.
Yeah, 8 hour round trip, and he was in prison for 12 years for first-degree rape on a child. So it was premeditated.
Yeah.
And Dane County is very difficult to work in. We try not to. If we do have a predator in Dane County, we try to lure them to a different city, you
Mm.
know, like Fitchburg, Wisconsin, for example. That's pretty close to Madison. So
Sure. Okay, so if they go to a different county to meet, then they're charged in that county and not where
yeah,
it originated. Okay.
usually.
Okay.
Mhm.
So does that ever discourage you when you put all that time and effort into it, and then all of a sudden they kind of walk away with nothing?
Yeah, it's really discouraging. This job is really rewarding, but at the same time, it's really frustrating, depressing, and I get angry. Yeah, it's very discouraging.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
I want to. How do you? And we're barely into this at all, but I'm just. How do you decompress from this? Like when you're doing this, how do you just breathe a little bit? And I mean, do you take days off, or are you busy doing this nonstop?
I don't take days off. If I'm not in the field, I am decoying for Skeeter Jean or Predator Catchers PA, other people, you know. I really like doing this. But yeah, I do need a breather sometimes. So I guess like maybe 1 day a week or 2 days a week, I won't decoy at all. I'm a boxer and
Okay.
I also work out a lot and lift. It's something I recently got into. So that helps a lot. It makes me happy. And I'm not like an angry person, but it makes me feel really good. And it does like I can't watch other catchers or anything because I do, like you said, I need to decompress.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Do you envision the last guy you talked to as the boxing bag when you're hitting it?
I wish.
Put a picture of him on it. Just put it into pulp. But yeah, that's a good way to decompress, right?
Yeah.
I
it's a
just
big-
watched the one you dropped yesterday, and it's so close. We're in Neenah, Wisconsin, and this was in Kimberly, so it's 15 minutes from us, and I'm just like, God damn, and I know it's everywhere. I'm not naive enough to think that we're isolated where we are, but when you see it that close to home, it really hits. And I have a young daughter,
Mhm.
so it's like she's getting to that age where I have to start worrying about it. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh my gosh, we should have linked up in person. I would have made the drive.
Oh, we would believe me. We want to. We want to do a ride
Yeah.
along. we absolutely would love to do a ride along and see this happen in person.
Yeah.
So,
Do you allow ride-alongs or any assistance in something that we definitely want to
Yeah,
help?
I think we should do a ride along one day. I would just have you sign some stuff saying, if
Oh,
you
yeah.
get hurt, it's you consented to be there type
yeah,
stuff. But
absolutely.
you're not gonna get hurt.
Have you?
No. It's not us that are going to get hurt. It could be.
No, you can't do that. That's
I
the thing. You
know.
gotta
Yeah,
leave the
you
anger
also
at the
have
door.
to sign a waiver not to do that either.
That's got to be one of the hardest part of the job. Is like that guy in Kimberly, for instance, who was just laughing at the fact that you caught him doing this. How you cannot. you know, like,
It's so hard. I thought it was funny.
yeah. And I don't know. I don't care. I hopefully something happened to him, but it's just so frustrating to watch them.
Yeah.
Just he'd walk back into the house, like, you know, and just
I was a little lenient on him. I really was. Sometimes I really do take age into consideration, and I was pissed. Every time I do a catch, I always think back, was I could have done this differently, that differently, this differently. But I think just being a person who creates content in general, I feel like no matter what you do, like you guys too, I'm sure you probably always are gonna feel like that.
oh yeah.
Um,
Yeah, at the end of
so
every one of these, there's always 5 minutes after we're like, oh fuck, I wanted to ask this. You know what I mean? You just you get into the heat of the moment and
Should have done that. Yeah.
best laid plans. So
From when you started, though, what was the biggest thing that you learned? Not the podcasting you're talking about it, but talking to them or decoying to get them.
the biggest thing I learned, like during that process.
Yeah, like I was doing it this way, but it something that worked, that you were doing wrong, maybe not wrong, but just improved yourself on to make things
Oh,
easier.
so much. So first of all, like meeting in person, I used to be reckless. I jumped in a car before, got pushed out of the car, got dragged by the car on a live stream. So I'll do it I'll break it down. So what I learned while catching in person is to be very cautious and sometimes be very nice. You want to build their trust so that they start opening up more to you, and then boom, we have a confession on camera. And then that makes the police and the detective's job much easier.
Yeah.
So sometimes I go the really nice route and I just try to be like, there's not a real child here, right? You didn't really do anything that bad, right? But it's like reverse psychology. So I definitely learned that throughout the whole time of doing this, because I never used to be that way. I used to be like, why are you trying to beat a minor for? So I've definitely improved there. I want them to say what they're there to do. I don't want me to say it for them.
Yeah.
Another thing while decoying, I guess I would say I learned that always say you're homeschooled. Because one time this guy, I said, I go to this middle school. And
Oh,
this guy started showing up to the middle school in real life. And I realized right then and there, I was putting actual teenagers in danger.
sure.
What if he sees a girl with dark hair that looks like me when I was younger and then kidnaps her? So that's something that's really big. Just say you're homeschooled. Don't say in school. And always try to meet. I try not to meet in a store anymore. My thing is either a sting house, I rent a house and then we do it that way, or we do it at a park after, like when it's very late at night, because the less people the better. If I bring them to a Target, which I do sometimes, but frequently if I bring them to a Target, I'm putting actual children and regular adults in danger. We don't know if this guy has a gun or not. We have our ways of protection, but we don't want to bring that to the public. So, but we also need to focus on our safety too.
Yeah,
So we do
absolutely.
meet in public a lot, but we just try to do like a park, where there's houses around just in case, and there's no kids there late at night. So
Yeah.
Tonight's episode is sponsored by our good friends at Taylor Mushrooms. They are 100% legal, euphoric mushroom gummies delivered straight to your door.
Taylor blended a little mushroom extract with a little THC to create a one-of-a-kind feeling. Half of a Taylor gummy will relieve any stress, the perfect dose to ease anxiety or ensure a great night of sleep.
A full gummy will deliver a calming, euphoric state of mind, the perfect dose for an outdoor adventure, a chill night in, a vibrant night out, or even turning up the heat with your partner.
Taylor is offering the first 50 Cocktails with Dimples in the Beard listeners a massive discount of 50% off their first order by visiting their site, www.taylor.store, and using promo code BEARD. That's TAILOR.store.
Again, that discount code is BEARD for 50% off your entire first order for the first 50 listeners.
Better hurry.
Better hurry.
So talk about this, because you said if we come, we got to sign the form that if we get hurt, it's our problem. You just talked about getting dragged by car. How did that all go down?
Didn't get
Oh my God. It was okay. I started in May and I think this was in August of a few years ago.
Okay.
So it was like fairly new into my YouTube career. I had 6,000 subscribers, I remember, and it was my very first live stream. Wow, that was embarrassing. CC Unit was in there, like some big catchers back then that I've never talked to, and I was like, oh my God, and it just went so wrong, and I was like, that's so embarrassing. I was like, I'm gonna have to quit. Like, I'm so embarrassed. But no, it's good though. I have a really cool scar on my leg. It took off some of my tattoo down here. So
Oh
it's like,
shit.
yeah. But no, that happened because he was like a little bitch too, but he was like shorter than me.
That's the
But
one you didn't want to like get away.
so this is funny. My cameraman was hiding in a slide, and this predator, his name was Eric. He said he was on his way. So I have my cameraman Chris go on his slide, and he goes in a tube slide, but he's like holding on to the top of the slide. So he's like, okay, the predator's gonna be here in like 5 minutes. I'll just hold on to the top of the slide and I'll stay in this tube, right? Well, Predator got there after about 45 minutes to an hour, and Chris was just in the slide holding on still with one arm with one camera. And Predator gets out of the car. No, I go up to the car. He thinks I'm a minor somehow. These people are so delusional. And I get him out of the car as a minor. And then when we're walking up to the vestibule, I tell him that I am not a child. What are you doing here? And I said, Chris, come out now. Chris just drops from the slide. He just lays there on the wood chips because his legs and his entire body just fell asleep.
Oh.
So the predator, he's getting away and he's running to his car. And so I'm just in the heat of the moment. I'm live streaming. I just jump inside the car with him. And then he's like, get out, lady. And he opens up the door and he's like trying to push me. And he's speeding down like the road. And I just like, I fall out, but I hold on to the door and I just keep getting dragged until I just like let go.
Oh.
And my cameraman was like passed out on the wood chip.
Yeah,
So it's a really funny story now, but it was fucked up.
that's a good point. We need to shout out Chris because Chris is along on the majority. I think all of your catches that you do, at
Almost
least
all
around
of
here.
them.
Yeah, so shout out to him. You obviously can't do it without him. So
Definitely.
Has he been with you from the start?
Yep, the very start. I think he's missed out maybe on like 15 catches when I'm traveling.
sure.
But traveling with other productions. So, but yeah, he's HR, he is my camera person, he is audio, editor, decoy. He does way more than I do.
Wow.
But yeah, really appreciate that guy because like you said, can't do it without him.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, not to sound sexist or anything, but you are a woman. And sometimes you go into these places and, you talk about Alex Rosen. Alex he's a big guy. He doesn't, like nobody's going to fuck with him. Like,
Yeah.
how many times have you been nervous that shit is going to go south and I'm going to get badly hurt here? Or
Every time I'm a little anxious, but then once the confrontation is going, I get really comfortable because I can quickly like read them, now that I've been doing this for so long. But yeah, in the beginning, a lot of people would never believe me, and this is something I've never really talked about. I have a terrible anxiety. Nobody would believe me saying that though, because I catch predators. It's funny because that's the only thing I can do.
yeah.
I've worked like retail, other jobs in the past, and I don't show up because I have anxiety attacks about being social. It's so weird because I can do podcasts, I can, be social for this thing. It's still hard though, but it's something that I'm just so passionate about that I just try to flip it off.
Right.
But yeah, almost every time I'm like, I can't do it alone. If Chris isn't there, they probably would assault me, so.
Yeah.
I've
Push
been
and run.
assaulted with him there, but only one time this fat ass like hit my camera and hit my arm, and then I just got up and I told Chris to cut the cameras. And I just started like pepper spraying him and like shoving him and slapping him and like
But
don't fuck with
priorities first. Cut the camera.
Well,
Yeah.
Then I'll do it.
I mean,
I'm not trying to get an extra charge. Like cut
Yeah.
he touched me.
like at some point, are you like, almost thinking to yourself, God, I hope this guy does assault me so that I can use some of these boxing, because at that point now it's self-defense, right? Like,
Yeah, no, it was
Good
self-defense. And
point.
yeah, the only thing is they did play the video back in court because Chris did not cut the cameras. And
Oh.
like, Courtney, you just went too hard. You wouldn't stop on him. At that point, it's not self-defense anymore. So I did get charged. Yeah. But I'm a
Well,
good
how many
person,
charges
guys.
do you have?
worth it.
And it is worth it. Good point.
It is. Yeah, I just paid the fine right away and I was like, I don't want to make payments. I want to get it done with. And the judge was like, I was like, Your Honor, he was after a 6-year-old. He
Right.
was.
Yeah.
And so she's like, I totally like the judges are usually so nice to me. It's just like they're by the book. They gotta do what they gotta do. And she's right. I didn't stop. But it's also like, don't fuck with me because Chris knows I can handle my own too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Has there ever been a time where you just were like, okay, I feel like he's packing something. I'm scared, aboard, and just
Mhm.
like cut everything short just to get out of there because you were feared? Okay. What does
Yes,
that happen?
This only happened once, actually. I never really I get anxiety, like I say, a little anxious at first, but it goes away. But this one guy, we were waiting for him. It was getting very late, very dark, and he wanted to meet in like the woods. And I
Oh.
do that sometimes, but not when it's that dark, like on a trail, And I was like, Chris, I just have a really bad feeling. Me and Chris got out and we just walked and everything was fine, but I was like, Chris, like for the first time ever, I was like, can you take the lead? Because something just doesn't feel right. And I cannot tell you, I've never felt like that before. And he's like, yeah, I'll take the lead. And then we're like walking and walking. I was like, Chris, I can't, like, we have to turn around. Something's wrong. So we decided to meet at an establishment instead. He got spooked when he, saw Chris came out a little too early. It's all good. It was for the best. He went to prison for rape and first-degree murder on his infant son.
Oh.
So I felt like there was a sign that night. And I just, usually we can look up everything about these people before we meet them, even if they give fake aliases, but we couldn't find this real guy's identity until after the fact. And I was like, wow, I think we did the right thing. I'm glad that he left and there was no confrontation.
Yeah.
We got his face on camera and good enough. He showed up. Let's go.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that feeling, just something, sometimes it tells you, you just got to go with it.
Trust your gut.
Trust your gut.
Always
There you
just do
go.
that.
Yeah.
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 Definitely.
Like I said earlier, obviously you're not dealing with the cream of the crop in society. So was that your wine?
The wine in the box.
Yeah.
You
Cheers.
say
Well,
cheers.
My cheap self. Cheers.
I love it. I love it. We've had guests,
I saw it when we gotta acknowledge the awesome wine in the box. I love it.
We've had guests, be like, hey, I'm gonna be a few minutes late, but we've never had the best excuse ever. So we are cocktails with dimples in the beard. So cocktails are, we don't insist that people drink,
No,
but
by any means.
But
yes, that so everybody knows, she said, I need to be a little late because I need to run and get my wine. So well worth it.
I
absolutely.
was like, shoot, let's do it. Like I'm chilling and it's like it's nice. Yeah. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah.
So what do you do to relax other than drink box wine and talk to us?
Yeah, just working out. Like I said, I've been on a fitness journey recently. And then also I play a lot of video games. It's so crazy though. I don't have like free time like that. So I will stay up until like 5 or 6 a.m. playing video games. And then I'm just a mess in the morning, tired, but you still got to get up and do the damn thing. So I play a lot of video games. I try to spend a lot of time with my family. Like my grandma, because my grandpa passed recently. And also one of my half brothers, because our dad passed away. So I've been trying to spend more time with family on my free time. I told myself I would stay in Wisconsin and just focus on Wisconsin catches for, a couple months straight instead of traveling, because with doing that, I can spend more time with people that really matter to me. So.
Sure. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for staying in
That's
Wisconsin.
Well, and I'm sure the family thanks you as well, because that support is big.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
So what video game are you on right now? Do you play one that like
A variety. Okay, I'm such a nerd. Yeah, I play. Well, I want to try Among Us VR. My lawyer got Chris and I an Oculus, two of them. Like, wow, because
What?
he's a
Wow.
supporter. Like, I'm just so blessed. I'm not. Oh my gosh.
That's
We didn't
awesome.
ask for it, but yeah, we want to play Among Us VR, which is crazy. Anything VR is insane. This is so old. I'm like years late to the party, but Among Us, I play on the Nintendo Switch. Ultimate Chicken Horse.
Wait, what? You need to repeat that because I'm not a gamer.
Ultimate chicken horse, I think she said.
Chicken horse?
It sounds stupid, but it's fun.
Okay.
Those are the funnest, though, aren't they? Sometimes the dumbest
Oh, yeah.
concepts.
Yeah, remember we grew up with games called Donkey Kong.
Right, right.
Oh, we played that too. Donkey Kong. I started playing Paper Mario. I beat what is it? Mario Wonder. Totally a big Nintendo fan. So yeah, all sorts of stuff. Yeah.
Do you and Chris ever battle each other?
Yeah.
Yeah. Who's better?
Yeah.
Who wins most of the time?
Usually him, I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, all
Yeah.
right.
I would've
Sorry,
li-
sorry
I
to bring that up. I thought I was going to go the other way.
I would have lied. I would have lied.
could have lied. We wouldn't have known.
Not gonna lie. No, he's really good at Mario Kart specifically. I'm trying to trash at it, and I think it's fun though. And then Mario though, like the old school Mario will play, because they have like those versions on the Nintendo Switch, and he really is shitty on that. So, and
There
he's
you
older
go.
than me, so
We all
He's
have
like-
our games, yeah.
he's like, I've been playing this since before you were born. No exaggeration. Why do I suck so bad?
What? We're not playing that anymore. I picked the games from now on, Chris. The ones I'm good at. Well, I do enjoy like that we are talking about Chris because it huge again, like you said, huge shout out to him, and I'd love to meet him someday.
Yeah.
While I'm signing the forms.
Ah!
We'll sign any form. You know how bad we were before we went on, and even before when we talked about having you on, just talking about, yeah, we would do whatever we can, go along, help out, even do more episodes like this to get the word out. That's the huge, supporting you on Rumble and all that good
Yeah,
stuff.
I really appreciate that. Oh my gosh. I have a question for you guys, if that's okay.
Absolutely.
What was, you guys usually, I was watching some of your stuff. You guys usually interview really sexy, beautiful women with their DIY dildo collection. So I'm like, I think that's fine. Do your thing. But I'm just curious.
Yep, go ahead.
Why the interest in interviewing like a catcher? I'm just curious. No
I'm-
hate against that. Like,
No, none taken, but I mean,
Yeah, it started with me going down the rabbit hole. I just started watching them and really and again, I have a young daughter and I'm starting to worry about this stuff. And I think that you guys, again, do Jesus work, whatever you want to call, you guys do the Lord's work. And we try to do some serious stuff once in a while. And
there's no subject that's off limits to us.
Yeah.
Really. And we're supportive of so many things.
Yeah. So
Freedom,
Yeah.
stuff. But
we just like to
Fun.
talk to people that we find interesting.
Yeah.
And that's all over the board. So
I think it's really, really cool of you guys because you guys are also helping me in a way too. Because even if it's just 5 more people that know that there's a predator catcher out there, I'm just so thankful, and I think
Yeah.
it's really cool that you guys do whatever, be you, and I want to interview you if I find you interesting. I
Yeah.
respect that.
you gotta the weird thing for you is your ultimate goal in life is to be without a job, right? Like you want to do this so well and have so many people know that this is happening that everybody in the world is afraid to do this, which is a weird thing that your main goal is to never have to do your job again.
Right. It's
Yeah.
very weird.
put yourself out of work, right?
Right. That's what your goal is, right? Like,
And we'd love to help you do that.
absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. It just hits close to home.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I mean, my daughters are grown now, but I went through it all, years ago. They're, 21 and 24, so they're older, but they're gonna have children someday, and it's just always been, it's just been around. It's just a big part.
It's very surreal. Like Alex Rosen, for example, he catches people that, and I have too, Daniel Myers, I believe it's on YouTube, that have infant
Mhm.
RAPE videos. So it's like really there is no, you know, you said your daughter is getting to that age. It's sad because there really is no that age.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
just, it's real life and it's very surreal. And we can't, we're outnumbered. You, me, Alex, we cannot stop them all. So our jobs will never be done and it sucks.
Yeah.
But if we save at least one child, that makes these 3 years for me so worth it. At least just one. And I know I've saved well more than just
You
one
save more
child.
than one. Yeah. Yes. Every person that you've ever had a converse or caught prevented them.
Yeah.
So there's been a lot more. It's
I think the
amazing.
most beautiful thing, it's sad to say this is beautiful. You know what I mean, though. The
Yeah.
most beautiful
Yes.
thing is when real victims of these people that I catch come forward and they say, "Oh, I'm an adult now, but I told my parents about it back then and they didn't believe me. Will you come and turn this guy in with me?" And I'm like, "Yes," because they saw, and she's like, they'd be like, this happened a few times. They'd be like, "Oh, my parents believe me now because your video is out. Thank you so much," and stuff like that. And I think that is the most beautiful thing. And that whenever I just want to stop because I am frustrated, I am mentally drained, I am disgusted. It's like that's what keeps me going 100%.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
And I think you do find that, and maybe you could speak on it a little bit, is when you present people with it, family members or whatnot, how they just don't want to believe it that someone in their family could do that, someone that they know, a friend, which has got to be hard. It's got to be the hardest thing. But how often do you run into that, and just to have to, like you just said, convince somebody?
yeah, sometimes I go to their house and they live with their families, the predator in question, and I
Right.
have to break news to the mom or the dad, and they angry at me. They say it's a hoax, it's not real, his phone was hacked, blah blah blah.
Right.
And these men are 45 plus years old, and then the parents are even older, so they don't really get technology. The son says, "Oh, I was hacked, it's not me." Then they can believe that easily. I mean,
So right there, they're living with their parents. So there's clue number one.
Yeah,
yeah.
sometimes it's almost more frustrating because I have watched videos with you where the parents are involved and the parents just blow it off like it's no big deal or that and it's like how did
To me, the most frustrating is a spouse.
Mhm.
And it's one thing when it's a spouse that stands behind them when there's evidence, and then when it's their own children, like even a stepfather situation where that's your daughter and you're sticking with your man.
Yeah.
That to me is the most disgusting. To me,
Long
they're just as disgusting.
Yep, long story short about that topic, Joe Newman, that's kind of like what got me viral on YouTube back in the day. It's like the craziest, best catch ever, I guess. I don't know. But he sued me 3 times, tried to. He lost every time, every time. And his wife and him have sued me as well. The reason why the wife got involved is because Joe Newman, you can block his last name, sorry. Joe is no longer allowed to go to his daughter's high school because the principal does not feel comfortable with that because of my video. And so the wife is like, "Oh, I want to sue her too." Well, long story short, I won all 3 lawsuits representing myself every single time because I'm like, I'm not gonna like do lawyer shit over this. Like defamation, what defamation? There is no defamation. You admitted everything yourself.
Yeah.
Like you admitted it. And so I won 3 times and now they owe me $500 and they owe Chris $500 for damages and stress and stuff. And I'm like, you guys shouldn't have sued us because
Yeah.
like this is only bad for you.
I don't
So
think
yeah,
you're ever going to see that money. I hate to tell you.
yeah, I know. But like, damn, $500. That's like that would have been nice.
Yeah.
If-
So that's what they try and get you, is defamation, huh?
Yeah, defamation. The very first one was a restraining order so that the video, this was before YouTube changed. His video was on YouTube. And I got served with I was like a stalker or something. Never talked to that man in my life except when I was decoying. So we went to court for that, and the judge said, had I found out what this was about, I would have never even let this court date happen. And they were like, "Courtney, you did a great job representing yourself. Mr. Newman, good luck to you. Stop talking to kids.
Right. Yeah. Oh, so you got a little bit of lawyer skills in you too. Have you done any formal training, or is this just kind of, I'm going to court, I'll read a little bit of a book and
One of my best friends is a lawyer on the Supreme Court.
oh shit.
Oh,
Okay.
So I learn everything from them, literally everything.
That's awesome. Good for you.
well, and I just want to say you mentioned your anxiety, but it just seems like because you mentioned it too, you're passionate about it, but you know what you're doing. And so it just blocks out the anxiety. It seems like, and you just are full steam ahead because
Oh, yeah.
you know you have to. If you don't, it could blow up, and then they could win, and you just can't let them win. Is that kind of your?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Don't get me like before court and stuff, I'm throwing up from, nerves, anxious. On the way there, I do this weird thing. Chris can confirm. I make up songs and I start rapping them and singing them. So annoying. It helps though. And then once I'm in there though, and I know how the vibe is, I just have to, it's just like catching. I got to stay confident and you'll always come out
Yeah.
on top. It's like I had the same anxiety working at a grocery store or retail, Target back then, and I have the same anxiety now. It's just the only difference is I go through with it and I actually do the damn thing.
Yeah.
And
Now the job you're doing is worth it. Target, no offense to Target, but
yeah.
I think Target will survive
We're
if you
banned.
don't show up for work.
We're banned from Target. Thanks.
By the way, it's kind of funny because when
Oh no.
every time we start these things, before we really get going, I'm singing too, because it just helps with the, we're always singing stupid shit that never makes the airwaves, of course. So that must be an anxiety trick. I don't know, but
Weird, right? But it works.
So, and you're just lucky you found it. Some people never find that thing that works for them. So
Yeah.
that's great.
you you must turn to comedy for some decompression too. I saw Big J Okerson. Was that one of your catches? I was like, oh, that's a mid. He's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, big J.
Big J. So shout out to Big J. Never knew who he was, but
Okay.
at the time, listen, so please, wow, this was a funny story. Big J was on a podcast, The Fighter and the Kid or something. I don't know. But people were clipping me and sending me videos like Big J's talking about you, and I was like, who? Like, I don't know who that is. So I watched the clips and stuff, and he was like, it's not usual for a predator catcher to have a sponsor for their video. That's not, people look at it as disingenuous and blah, blah, blah. I still
Sure.
I gotta pay rent.
Yeah.
If someone offers you guys our sponsor, are you guys gonna turn it down? No. Like,
Absolutely not. You go.
yeah. So Big J on a podcast was talking about, this is quote unquote what he did. Hi guys, before we get into the video, I just want to say this video is sponsored, and he was like mimicking me, and I was like, oh my God, this guy's making fun of me. This is hilarious. So, and I looked at his phone. I'm like, oh my God, I feel flattered. Well, no matter what he's saying about me, please keep talking. Like, that's so cool. And so I followed him and I DM'd him. No, yeah, I DM'd him. He was like standing with someone from his podcast. And I was like, oh, so that's not Howie Mandel? Because it looked like Howie Mandel. And he's like, holy shit, Courtney, I didn't know you followed me. So he followed me back. And then he's like, you should come to a comedy show, you and Chris. Really love what you do. I'd love to see a Sting House too. And I was like, okay, when do you want to do? He's like, well, I'm gonna be near the Midwest this day, that day. So we were on his guest list for 2 nights, and we saw him live 2 nights. He changed it up for us both nights.
Well, he does a lot of crowd work, so his shows can be different.
Improv, which improv is so hard to do. But yeah, I got to know like Big J, someone that I've never known, and then see that he's talking, he's like making fun of me. And when I met him after the show, like it was so cool when he was in comedy is so funny. I think it's so funny. But after the show, he came up to me and I was like, hey, Big J, so remember what you said about me on the internet? So it was cool.
I like how you had his special playing at the Sting House as well.
Perfect.
Oh yeah.
That's fantastic, and a great special, by the way. Everybody go watch Dog Belly.
Watch Dog Belly. It is so funny.
But what a great sponsor, call it what you will, just a good reaffirmation, reaffirming what you do, that affects everybody.
Yeah, how much does it piss you off? Because I do see it in the comments a number of times, and I always think to myself, what the fuck is wrong with you? The people that are like, you just do this for money.
Well, I'll say something right now. Started doing this for free, and I am demonetized on YouTube. So the only money that I make from this is sponsors, which is sometimes only $20 I get, you know. People think that a big misconception about me is I'm a millionaire. I am a cheap bitch who looks like I do cool things. I don't.
You're
I
drinking
just-
wine out of a box, people.
What are you doing?
Trilogy Media, they got me, Connor, shout out to Connor from Trilogy Media, bought me a $4 bottle of wine when we were in LA last time. Thank you. Like,
By the
but,
way, one of my favorite catches of all time, you working with Trilogy Media, the guy that decided to run and is his name Art?
his name was Kenny.
No, I mean the guy from Trilogy Media that ran with him.
Oh, Art, yeah.
Like, was he like a Olympian or something from his home country? And he's just running like he's jogging next to him, just like, I can do this all day.
Yeah, he's like, you think you can outrun me, bitch? And he's like running. They go around like they run so far. It was a 3-mile run.
He's running backwards at one point, just like here.
Like, and then he was calling Ubers. The predator he was calling Uber or like doing Ubers on his phone, and then he would get to the car and then he's like, Art would be like, hey man, to the Uber driver, you know, keep doing you, please be a good person. This guy was trying to have a kid, you know, please don't let and all 3 Ubers closed the door on him. No. And then the predator just took off again. Art, thank God Art had a GoPro on, because all of the cameramen, Trilogy Media, Skeeter Jean, and my cameraman stopped following. Like, it was just too much.
And he didn't even look winded. He was like, I'm good. I can.
Yeah, he's an ex-Olympian professional. And then me and Ashton of Trilogy Media, we were just on the couch passing inhalers back and forth for us asthmatics. You know how it is. This is crazy, but it's real. Like,
Insane
For money, you know.
Well, yeah,
you can't please everybody. We hear that all the time, but you know, fuck them. You gotta pay the bills, and they should be supporting you more than complaining about it.
right. Yeah, like I said, I started doing this for free. I'm now demonetized on YouTube. Rest in peace. Since January of 2 years ago. And I'll still be doing this, being demonetized on YouTube.
Yeah.
I have 1 million views on one of my videos. Guess how much money I make? $0. But guess what? 70 catches. I still did 70 catches after that, you know, for free.
Yeah.
So, I mean, don't get me wrong, like locals, you know, memberships and stuff, like thank you everyone. I'm just blessed with my supporters and my moderators and people like you too that give me another platform, you know.
Where is talk about locals a little bit, where people can go to support you and because that's the best way to.
Yeah, locals.com/Courtney ElizXbeth. It's essentially like memberships on YouTube, but there's 0 censorship except nudity. I often have meetings with the executive there, and he tells me I shouldn't say he tells me. I am allowed to, if it comes down to it, show a fight scene if that happens. I never try to go the violent way, but it happens, you know, and like defense, and that's fine. I can say all these words. I can say he came to meet a 13-year-old girl. I can say that on locals. On YouTube, I can't. I have to censor the age now, you know, so locals.com/Courtney ElizXbeth, that's where most of my content is. And I have been recently trying to post on YouTube every 1 to 2 weeks, just my videos too. And so far it's working again. Fingers crossed that it keeps it up. But like I said, all of that is for free. And I still post it because I actually do care, believe it or not. And I want people to see it, even though I am making $0 from YouTube. I want it on there. I want so many views because, you know, when people say too, you just do this for views. You're damn right I do. What?
Right?
Like,
that's the point.
I don't know the more views, the bigger the exposure, right? That's the goal. And I don't know any content creator who makes content that doesn't want views.
Well,
People think it's because we catch predators, we have to be these perfect angels. We are real people. I've met a lot of catchers. We're all regular people. We all have our vices. We're just concerned citizens.
right. Well, and the
That's
point of wanting to get as many views as possible is yes, of course, but not for me to grow, not necessarily for my channel, but to get these people exposed. Because if you know, you get into Dane County and they're not going to do anything about it, at least getting their face out on the interwebs will help people know what's
Yes.
going on.
Who to watch
Yes.
out for. And if you
Some-
hear, you see the city that you live in, you could share it, or, hey,
Right.
you live here. This is from your
Mhm.
city. She just caught someone from where you live. So
It could be some little girls or little boys babysitter, and
Yeah.
the parents like, oh my God, you know, like sometimes exposure is the worst thing that happens to them, because you go to a county that doesn't prosecute, and hey, the exposure is still out there. Yes, I want views. Yes, I want it to be on Facebook pages, like being shared. That is a huge goal too. It
Absolutely.
doesn't.
well, it's working, because what's his name? David can't go to his kids' high school stuff, which he shouldn't.
Joe.
Joe.
Yeah,
And I don't
same
care.
thing.
Joe Newman, I don't care. I don't give a fuck about last names. We don't make any money off YouTube either.
Yeah, so I didn't care either. I just remember, but right there, it's working. You know, it's keeping him away.
And you know, the bailiff that was there when we were in Joe's county when he tried suing me the first time, the bailiff was like, he asked me, why isn't he in jail? I said, you tell me. Like, what? I don't know. Like,
Look, I got him here. You guys got to do the rest.
Right. Well, yeah.
shout out to them though. They were supportive, but it's like, oh my God, don't ask silly questions.
Yeah.
I'm not
But
bailiff.
they,
You
at that
know I'm
point,
not law enforcement.
right. But at that point, they haven't done anything other than talk. So and what do you want? You know, wait till they're caught in the act.
Right.
You know,
Right.
then that's too far. So hopefully that they have a record prior, and then that this might help them go back to jail, maybe.
Yeah, that happens frequently. And also, if you know, some convictions that I do have is not from my sting operation, it's from me posting the video, because a real victim who was still a minor will come out,
Mm.
and I encourage them and I say, no matter where they are, if I travel to LA once and then I'm not there, it sucks, but I'll come out there with you to be there for you, to turn them in, because that is not easy.
Yeah.
Oh,
And so that's where some of my convictions come from too. It's from like survivors stepping up, and they're like, oh my God, like maybe I can turn him in now, because he's done things to me. And then they get charged for, because the statute of limitations is like, it varies from state to state, but it's very long. It's like 13 or 14 years.
Okay.
oh, good. I
And
thought I didn't think it was that long. So good. Yeah.
it's pretty long, yeah. So
It
if
could be
something
longer,
happens,
but whatever.
It
Yeah.
should
I
be
mean,
forever.
it
Yes.
should, I don't know why there's a limit, but whatever.
right. So yeah, that definitely is where a lot of my convictions come from as well.
That's beautiful.
You guys have, and it's amazing to me, the gift that you guys have to get these people comfortable enough to talk about this stuff. And I'm just wondering where that comes from, how you develop that
Gil.
ability to be able to, I mean, you almost mind fuck these people into just confessing their dirtiest, darkest secrets. And it can't be an easy thing to do.
It's not easy. It is weird though. I will say that, because either they are runners, which even Chris Hansen had runners.
Yeah.
Either they are runners or they just confess everything. And I'm like, we got to keep it going. I'm going to tell them, hey, you received CP. And no, I'll just be like, when is the first time you received CP? Trying to get them to think I already know that they have it. Either they don't or they do. But sometimes they'd be like, oh, I never did. You gotta drop it. I can't go through his phone. Or sometimes they'll be like, oh wow, the first time, I try to like just talk soft to them sometimes.
Yeah.
But I am human. So sometimes I lose my temper a little bit, if
Yeah.
it hits close to home.
Well, I commend you to stay calm and just have a conversation with them, knowing what's behind those eyes.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I guess that is something I really can't fully explain though. How do we have like that ability to get them to open up so much? I don't know. Like who? I feel like we have to word our stuff very carefully. So we'll make it sound like they have an ultimatum, talk to us or the police.
Yeah.
But we don't fully say that. We just we have to word it carefully. We rehearse it on the way there, stuff like that. And I guess that helps a lot, I think.
Well, you talk about Big J and the ability to improv. You have to have some of that yourself because you don't know what's going to come from the other side of the conversation. So you got to kind of be prepared for everything, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So much multitasking during.
It's a skill. So when are we? Nah, I don't want to put you on the spot, but we definitely want to keep in contact, and we definitely want to see what we can do about doing a ride along for sure.
Oh shoot. Oh my gosh. I'll hit you up soon. I'll follow
Yeah.
you on Instagram. We got each other's emails.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime we will make it happen.
Make it work. Yeah.
Before we let you go, though, I want to talk one more thing about decompression, and you obviously like to have some fun. I watched a video of you and Chris on Omegle having some fun with people on Omegle. And,
Yes, good.
and I watched it because we had this idea one night for a podcast. We wanted to kind of do the same thing and try and get people on and just say, hey, we're from a podcast, ask them a question, da da da. And the one person we got was like a kid who was threatening to kill us or something. So it didn't really work out. But yeah, he's like, I'm gonna kill you guys. I'm like, okay, what? So, but you guys have had some fun. I think you had cheese whiz all over your face.
Oh, I was shaving my legs with cheese whiz. Oh yeah, I did have it on my
Wait,
face.
what?
I was swallowing men's shaving cream. Rest in peace, my throat. That fucked up my throat for a couple days.
I can't.
I was wearing a wig and I was just like cutting my hair. And people were like, you are crazy. And I'd be like, hi, daddy, like shaving my legs with like cheese whiz. It was we're really goofy people in real life. Super weird, goofy. And
Couple
maybe
of
I had
boxes of
some-
wine.
Yeah, no, I think that day it was Fireball. I don't know. But
Mini bottles of Fireball. Yeah. I was just Also, you have the best theme music for any catcher. And I don't know if you're a Corrosion of Conformity fan, but I know you're into some heavy stuff because your theme song is fantastic. So.
yeah, heavy metal. Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you so much too.
Yeah.
Heavy metal is kind of a personality too.
Yeah.
Music is life, and it's what keeps me going too. So
That's cool.
So you listen to heavy metal like on the way to catch these predators? Is that what you're jamming
heavy
to in the
metal all
car?
the time. When I'm doing yoga, when I'm working out, we're on the way to catch predators. When we're editing, when we're playing video games, heavy metal, we go to shows. I've been going since I was 13, 14 years old. I've been to well over 200 concerts. I've seen
Nice.
everyone I ever wanted to see, except Linkin Park, rest in peace, I'll never be able to see, and System of a Down. Still haven't seen them.
Do they
So.
tour together? Are they?
Once in a while,
Serge is kind of on his own, isn't he?
That's
yeah, once in a while, System will like come together and do like a show or
Okay.
two, in different areas. They don't really perform in the US, so it's mainly like Europe, and it's always sad. So I don't know.
Would you consider System your favorite, or do you have a favorite?
In Flames is my favorite.
Okay.
In Flames and System of a Down, but
Okay.
they've been on hiatus pretty much forever. So, but they got me into music I listen to, so it's always respect for System of a Down.
Nice,
Yeah.
cool.
Was it the
And-
same song that you played to get the like right before you get to the predator, or any heavy metal song? I didn't know if it was like, okay,
Your walkout song.
yeah, we're almost there. Now it's time to play this song so we can get them.
Oh, we listen to Guar, Metallica, Anthrax, and then newer stuff or I guess not newer, but Slipknot, Lamb of God, stuff like that. In Flames, really big one.
So not
Bad
a
Omens.
no
I
theme
just
song.
got-
You got to
No
Maybe you
theme
should have
song.
one written,
maybe
like a catch 'em song.
yeah.
or
Where
a catch 'em and kill 'em, catch 'em and kill 'em.
Oh,
Oh wait,
Kill 'em.
I haven't signed the papers yet.
Kill 'em.
I haven't signed the papers yet.
What? Who does the theme song?
people ask me that all the time. I don't know.
Okay, did you just find like, because for ours we just went and Googled like the type of sound we wanted and found what we wanted, like
That's essentially what I did too.
Okay.
And I once upon a time I knew it. People ask me every single video, what's the theme song? And I don't know.
We can
I
edit
saved
that
it
out
as
for you.
some weird shit too. I saved it as like theme Courtney or something. Like just some I don't even know.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I hear you.
Well,
Thank you
it's a
so
good
much.
chuckle to end the episode on such a sad, sad subject.
Yeah.
Hey, but there's always, it's like it's cool to show people like a lighter side of me too. We've talked that's
Yeah.
why I really like appreciate your guys' podcast. I could really be myself, talk about my weaknesses, my strengths, my growth, the sad part, the real truth about the life, this world that we live in, and also I can also be myself and show a lighter side of me. And a lot of my fans and supporters don't really get to see a lighter side of me. It's
Yeah.
always serious Courtney. So
Yeah.
I really appreciate the laughs and you guys bringing me on here.
No, we appreciate it more than we can say.
Right.
And,
Our pleasure, for sure.
Yeah, anytime you want to do it, the door is wide open. And we look forward to hopefully seeing you out in the field at some point. So
Oh yeah.
so
I'm gonna hold you to that.
yeah. So let everybody know where they can find you and how they can support you one more time. And you cheap fuckers who watch this thing, go goddamn donate some money.
YouTube Courtney ElizXbeth, or if you type in Courtney Elizabeth, I'm the #1 that pops up too.
Yeah.
Find me on rumble.com/Courtney ElizXbeth, and locals rumble.com/Courtney ElizXbeth. Instagram Courtney ElizXbeth, no spaces. Thank you.
And a big thank you to you and the people that do this catching, because since we've started watching you guys, we've started putting our videos on Rumble as well. So we are.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's a nice platform. So
It is. It's good. And it's getting bigger. It really is.
Yeah.
It just takes time, but I've seen the growth already.
yeah, I
So.
can imagine.
Oh, well, and that's good to hear. That's positive to hear, because fuck YouTube. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Thank you. I agree.
Yeah, and not to get into it, but come on. I mean, what you're doing, they should be supporting it more
Absolutely.
than not fighting you for it.
Absolutely.
And I don't understand it, and I'm sure it's the douchebags running it. So, anyways, because he likes to.
It's
Never
it's
mind.
like,
Never
this is
mind.
in Hollywood. There's people that run
Yep.
YouTube. I should stop talking, actually. We are on YouTube. Let me
We're
stop.
we're on the same page. I was thinking the same thing. They
Absolutely.
wouldn't fight it if
Yeah.
they were against it.
Absolutely. Well, thank you again. Have a good night. Go and do your job if you're still doing your job, or go enjoy some video
Relax.
games.
Finish that box of wine and just enjoy the night.
Yeah, I'm gonna have some wine and I'll show you guys quick. I got this shot log.
Oh
for
God.
tomorrow.
Oh.
Sick. So,
Oh.
yeah, we'll link up soon. Maybe I can even be a co-host one day too.
Absolutely.
Oh my
That'd
God.
be-
That would be
Phenomenal
great.
idea.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Cool. Well, good luck on your travels tomorrow, and go catch some bad guys.
All right. Talk to
All
you guys. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for listening. The tavern is closed for now, but we'd love to have you back for more fun next time. Seriously though, get your asses out of here.